Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à ma chaîne YouTube. Bon visionnage. Today on my workbench I have Sean's Breckwell brand Pellet Stove Controller. Sean sent me this controller because he had an instance where this controller appeared to drive pellets constantly into the fire pit, which made it roar quite a bit and became a bit of a safety hazard. We weren't quite sure what to do about it, so after discussing it with Sean, he sent me his controller for me to evaluate. I've since had it on my test bench and I've run it quite extensively for a number of days, almost a week. And finally, after not really seeing a problem with the controller itself, I discussed it with Sean and we decided that I would replace a rotary switch since it's the most likely culprit of the problem that he saw. So I've replaced that switch, I've tested it, it's fully functional, so now it's time to do a final test before I package the controller and return it to Sean. As you can see, Sean's controller is connected to my tester. It's currently mounted on a faceplate. That same faceplate holds an actual auger motor. The shaft from the auger motor comes out the front of the faceplate, and I have an X marks the spot decal on it, so you'll see that rotate or spin when the controller is calling for the auger to drive. At the rear of the tester here I have 3 different light bulbs. They simulate different functions of your stove. The first one in blue simulates a combustion fan, in yellow the auger motor, and at the far end in red the convection or room fan. This controller is not capable of driving a heater element, so we won't show that in the testing. My tester is already powered up and the wiring harness is connected to the controller, so as I apply power we're ready to start testing. As you can see, a couple lights at the back have come on, the combustion fan and the convection or room fan in red. The convection or room fan is actually in low position right now, so a couple tests we can do is go to the high fan speed down here with the push button, and when I press that we see the intensity of the light bulb has increased. That corresponds to the fan running faster. So let's toggle back and forth. So you see that's working. If I go back to low, the next thing I can check is the low B, C, D, E max switch positions with respect to the convection fan. So let me rotate through that. B, C, D, E, and max. As I always say with this model controller, D, E, and max do not change the intensity of the light bulbs, which means the fan would run the same speed. So you might see a little bit of blinking action, but the intensity stays the same. As I go back to C, the intensity drops, B and low it drops again. So low, B, C, D, you see the intensity changes. So that's fully functional. The last thing I can do in manual mode is to check the manual feed button. When I press this momentary switch, we'll hear the auger drive in the video, we'll see the X marks the spot spin, and we'll see the auger light, the one in yellow, come on. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, that is all happening. So that switch is fully functional. Everything that in that circuit works. I will remind you that on some of these controllers, and this is one of them, located right behind here is an actual fuse. If that fuse is blown or not functional, then this button will work, but automatic mode will not. Alright? Now we can go into automatic mode. To go into automatic mode, we need to press this button here. It's called auger, and when we do that, a few things will happen. First, we'll see the light come on because my tester bypasses the pressure sensor switch. We might see a blink of the light back here. We might see a quick cycle of the auger, and then a timer starts on the controller which determines when the first automatic cycle of the auger motor will happen. So let's go ahead and do that. I press, we see the green light has come on, we had a quick burst of the auger, and the timer has started. We can, if we want to, still manual feed, and that will work. So the timer is ticking away, and pretty soon we'll get our first short burst of auger drive. Let's wait for that to happen. We are in low, so it's going to be a very short burst. There it is, very short burst. Let me wait one more time for that to happen, and then after that we'll go into a different position with the low BCDE max switch positions. So notice it'll be a short burst and a long gap in between. So if I go to max position, the next time that the auger comes on, you'll notice it'll be a much longer drive. So let's wait for that to happen. You see the intensity of the room fan has gone up. Notice how long that is. And it's off. So we'll do one more cycle of that, and then that'll conclude the testing for this controller. Let's just wait for it to happen. There it is. It also happened a little bit sooner. So the off duration is lower and the on duration is longer. One last cycle just for fun. Notice there is a hole here on the faceplate. There's an LED behind it. Look for that. Maybe you might see it in the video. There's an LED behind it. You should see that come on in green when the auger motor is driving. I'll do that one last time. Look for the LED back here, if you can see it in the video. There it is. Alright, go back to low and turn this off. Sean, I want to thank you very much for sending me your controller for evaluation and repair. It's fully functional. For all you other viewers out there, if you have a pellet stove controller of your own, whether it's a Breckwell, Quad or Fire, or USSC, and you have questions about it, or you have some service needs, please feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to speak to you about that. You can find my contact information in a link just below this video. In the meantime, I do hope you'll take a few seconds to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.